The champs are here indeed. The brooms are out and the Tampa Bay Lightning complete their sweep of the Florida Panthers. And being a Florida Panthers fan, it's just pain. It's just pain playing against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But the champs are moving on to the conference finals. The juggernaut Tampa Bay Lightning. Andre Vasilevskiy continues to make his claim as not only the greatest player, greatest goalie, and greatest contributor in these playoffs. And don't worry, we'll talk about Vasilevskiy versus McDavid because it's a two-horse race right now. But he is starting to make his claim for one of the best goalies of all time already. What a performance again by Vasilevskiy. So let's go ahead. Let's revisit this game. Let's revisit this series. And Florida Panther fan, hang on to the end because we're going to tell you what the future of the Florida Panthers likely holds and where the Florida Panthers likely go from here. Let's talk about it. Now, obviously, the first thing we have to talk about in this game is the greatness that is Andre Vasilevskiy. And before we talk about Vasilevskiy, I got to give a big shout out to Florida Panther fan and Tampa Bay Lightning fans. You guys are some of just the most dialed in fan groups. I didn't expect this until I ran a YouTube channel down there in Florida. So big props to you guys. You understand your hockey, you get your team, you understand some of the little things. It's pretty impressive. And what are those little things? There's a lot of teams out there that have had great goalies. There's a lot of teams out there that have great players and not great goalies. They're in the playoffs right now. And there's a lot of people out there that it's just interesting to me. You get an elite goaltender, like God tier, Roman Reigns level goaltender. And the first thing fan bases want to tell you is it's not all the goalie. It's a great team. You scratch your head and go, sometimes it's the goalie. And then you see fan bases with a great team and not a great goalie. There's a good percentage of people these days, and it's not small anymore, that are sitting there complaining about the goalie or complaining about the fact that the goalie's carrying them. And all I saw from Tampa Bay fans was, yeah, man, it was Vasilevskiy. And he plays on the team, so what do you want me to do about it? Go Bolts, baby! Woo! That's the right attitude. That's the right attitude. The Bolts are a great team. They're a fantastic team. We all know that. But the last two games, and basically since game 6, since playing the Lightning, Vasilevskiy's been at another gear. The Tampa Bay Lightning in front of him are able to take advantage of it. And when you have a game where you're outshot 49-26, how can you not say it's the goalie? And for sure, the players did their part. Kucherov had a great game last game. So did Stamkos. There's talent all over this lineup. But this was definitely and has been Vasilevskiy's series. And it's interesting thinking about Vasilevskiy because when he showed up, I remember thinking back in the day, I was like, who is this guy? Tampa Bay lost between 2015 all the way through to 2018. I was like, this guy's overrated. Everyone's talking about this guy that I've never heard of. Overrated. And then all of a sudden he started winning and winning. And I started paying attention to Tampa Bay. I'll be honest. That's when I started paying attention. I went, this guy's pretty good. And at this point in time, I know his career isn't over yet. I know folks don't like when this happens, but it doesn't matter because I like when it happens. And it's my channel, and some also like when it happens. Hot take time. Is Vasilevskiy a top 5 all-time NHL goaltender already? And if not, will he be after and if he wins the 3rd Stanley Cup in a row? I want you guys to let me know down below in the comments where you sit on Vasilevskiy. For me, the top 2 goalies of all time are locked in. It's Brodeur and Waugh in that order. And then I've got a cluster of like 5, 6, 7 goalies that are vying for number 3. And Vasilevskiy's in that cluster. And I think he might be separating, but it could also be recency bias. So you let me know down below. But what Vasilevskiy is doing is what some other goalies who are being paid a lot of money are not doing. Specifically, a goalie unnamed playing in the West on a team with red jerseys. He is making saves that you don't have to make. No one's going to blame the goalie for not making that save, but when you're paid the money you're paid, when you're elite, when you're in this caliber and you're supposed to carry, he's making them. And he's making them look easy. These are shots that should go in. And the difference is Vasilevskiy. You want to win a Stanley Cup. You've heard me say this before. A hot goalie alone cannot win a Stanley Cup. Case in point, Carey Price and the Montreal Canadiens. The Habs fans have not liked this for a decade. If there was a semblance of a team around Carey Price, even close to what was Tampa Bay and is Tampa Bay in front of Vasilevskiy, Price would have had multiple championships. Price is an incredible goaltender. However, I just don't believe that any of the Habs teams in front of Price have come anywhere near the talent of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Last year, proved it. Really good team there by Montreal, but They ran into a buzzsaw that were the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, where am I going with this? Vasilevskiy alone can't win the Tampa Bay Lightning the Stanley Cup, but Vasilevskiy steals a few games here and there, like this game, like the last game, like game 6 against Toronto. And all of a sudden you start putting together 2, 3, 4 wins that maybe the team didn't deserve, but they did because Vasilevskiy plays on the team. But you could make that argument that the team got outplayed like they did tonight against the Florida Panthers, and you still get that W. That's how you win a Stanley Cup. You need to have a goalie as part of the unit that can steal. You still need to have an elite centerman down the middle. You still have to have an elite defenseman back there. You still have to have good wingers and good forwards. But an elite goalie like this can steal enough games that it can make the difference on your march to 16, and nobody knows that better than Tampa Bay. So flipping over to Florida. Florida, what more can you do in this game? You threw everything but the kitchen sink at them in the last 2 games. The Corsi for Florida is through the roof. The shots on net are through the roof. Corsi and shots on net and scoring is what the Florida Panthers do. And unfortunately, that scoring went dry. So when you live on one side of the extreme, which is a whole bunch of goals, and you're shooting so at just such a high clip, like they were number 1 in shots generated towards the net. They were number 1 in goals generated. Off those shots, they were number 1 at just scoring goals. That is impressive, and it was an impressive season by the Florida Panthers. But unfortunately, when the one trick runs dry, and that is shooting a lot and getting a lot of goals, where do you end up going? And the answer sometimes is nowhere.
Hey, freak show! You're going nowhere!
Extremes happen at all times. Outliers happen at all times. So should Florida have won 2 of these games? Yes, they should have. But they didn't. And unfortunately, that's what happens in a small sample size like this in the playoffs. So I think Florida played their heart out. I think the team competed at a very high level, especially in the last 2 games. I really think they put their best foot forward, and they just ran into a juggernaut of a goaltender and a juggernaut of a team. That's what the Tampa Bay Lightning are. There were 2 narratives going into the playoffs. You who've been with this channel have seen this for some time. I had the Tampa Bay Lightning as a B-tier team, and someone asked, they said, "Hey coach, would you move them up now?" And the answer is no, because at the time, it's not wrong to evaluate the Tampa Bay Lightning before the playoffs in one of 2 ways. There was only 2 narratives. One narrative was they were north of 30, they were tired from winning cups, they didn't have a good regular season, and maybe their time had come. The other narrative was it's load management. They weren't worried about it. They knew they were good enough. Just get in the playoffs. Make sure everybody's rested. We're not going to over worry about games that aren't big time games. One had data behind it. One is a theory. Both I think were equally valid heading into the playoffs, and it turns out one was right. And the one that was right was it was a team that was load managing, a team that wasn't worried about the regular season, a team now that in the playoffs is playing big time hockey. You've heard me say it, big time players make big time plays in big time games. Absolutely. But you do have to take 82 game sample sizes seriously. You play 82 games for a reason. That's a lot of data. That's a lot of games. But sometimes those break. Sometimes they don't hold. And Tampa Bay does it again. So am I surprised? No, there was only 2 outcomes. Am I delighted? A little bit. A little bit. Being wrong is fine. If I had a sports almanac, I wouldn't be here on YouTube. I wouldn't be working a day job. I'd just be smashing bets all day, especially over at BetUS, who sponsors this channel. And if you want to as well too, 125% deposit bonus over at BetUS. Links down below. Go ahead, sign up. I know there's a ton of apps out there. You may be sick of it already. It's 125% free money. That's a gift from me to you. And when you use that free play money and smash it on the Tampa Bay Lightning to win the Stanley Cup, you're welcome. Just make sure you're over the age of majority in your state or province and that gambling is legal in your state or province. So we've talked about the greatness of Vasilevskiy. We talked about the fact that Florida has done everything they can do. Let's talk about Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky was brilliant. He really was. At the end of the day, this was a battle of goalies, and Bobrovsky really didn't do anything wrong. What do you want from him at this point, right? I thought Bobrovsky played absolutely great in this series. I thought he played great today. The high danger scoring chances were legit. Let me show you. Even though the shot count was banana sandwich, and I mean, we can see it. The Corsi, the Fenwick just dominated. The shot count dominated. Go take a look at the scoring chances, and more importantly, the high danger scoring chances. The Panthers had 5 high danger scoring chances out of all of those shots. The Tampa Bay Lightning had 8. Bobrovsky had to make some massive saves in this game, and high danger scoring chances are where you're going to end up putting goals in the net. So Bobrovsky was no joke. Even though it was a less amount of shots, it was still incredible, absolutely incredible what he had to do. Sure, it's only 22 shots, but when 61% of those 22 shots are high danger chances, doesn't really matter, does it? Then you go ahead, you take a look at the expected goals. This game was a lot tighter than it should have been, but Vasilevskiy steals it. Bobrovsky, no way I can sit here and blame him for anything in this series. He did really well. The unfortunate thing is, Vasilevskiy is entering that top 5 territory of all-time greats. Bobrovsky is a very good goalie. There is a chasm between the two. Greatness is greatness. There's great, there's franchise, and there's legendary. And when you start getting into conversations with guys like Brodeur and Waugh, you're starting to enter legendary status. So Bobrovsky, excellent series. You can't complain. Well done by him. I think the last storyline to note is the young guys on Florida, the Sasha Barkovs, the Aaron Ekblads, the Carter Verhaeghes. Yeah, Verhaeghe hit 2 posts today, but you know what? You've heard me say this about posts. Posts aren't this close. Posts aren't lucky. Posts are the goaltender being in good enough position that the player missed the net. A post does not count as a shot on goal. It's as good as a missed net. So whether you miss it 5 feet high and wide or hit a post, it's the same thing. You're shooting to pick a corner that wasn't there. The goalie took it away from you. So yes, could have been close, could have been half an inch the other way, could have been half an inch the other way and missed the net completely. Back to the players on the Panthers, the Barkovs, the Huberdeaus, the Ekblads. Look, these guys are getting valuable playoff experience. Remember, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, the Lightning lost a lot before they became the unstoppable juggernauts that were the Lightning. Teams have to lose a lot before they go forward, and they have to learn. So they got over their round 1 hump. That's excellent. They made it to round 2. When I looked at this series, it wasn't a talent thing that was the difference. I still think the Florida players are more talented than the Tampa Bay players. Tampa Bay is going, how can you say that? Well, you had the better year. They were the better scorers. If I was drafting a team tomorrow, I would lean towards these players all day. But the difference is the older you get, the smarter you get. And when you watch guys like Corey Perry, who may not have been a Lightning last year, but he's a veteran in the league. When you watch guys like Stamkos, like Kucherov, like Cirelli, like Palat, these guys are well-seasoned veterans that even though they may get a little bit slower, just a little bit, they're still good. They are brilliant. They're brilliant at playing the game the right way, and they're brilliant at getting under people's skin. They're brilliant at understanding how this puck moves. Brain is important. Talent matters a lot, but they think the game faster than the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers got valuable skill and insight here. Remember, the best players in the world, Florida, the Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid's still in it, but McDavid's had a lot of runs at playoffs. So maybe this is McDavid's year. Maybe it's not. Matthews hasn't made it past the first round yet. There's a lot of young superstars out there. We can name them for days that haven't won the Stanley Cup yet or gotten close to it. And the on-running joke is look at all these overpaid guys and then Pat Maroon, and Pat Maroon has a lot of cups. That's just the way it goes. It takes time to win it. So yes, for every young guy that ends up winning a cup like Kane and Taze or Crosby, for others it can take some time. Solani didn't get one until I think he was 40. Comment down below how old he was, but he had to go over to the Avs to win a cup. Ray Bourque, one of the greatest defensemen to ever play the game, couldn't get a cup in Boston, had to go over to the Avs to get one. Paul Correa, same thing. You think about guys who chase Stanley Cups. Marian Hossa chasing a cup. Corey Perry chasing another cup. Mark Giordano signing in Toronto to chase a cup. Joe Thornton signing in Florida to chase a cup. Speaking of Thornton, I said this tongue-in-cheek at the beginning of the year, and I'm so sorry it came true, but wherever Joe Thornton signs, the curse of Jumbo Joe is real. Unfortunately, Joe signs on a team, and they automatically don't win a cup. And I love Joe Thornton. I really he's awesome. He has been one of the Canadian greats for some time. Plays the game the way I want it to, but yikes. Joe. Oh, you got to feel bad for that, kinda. He's made millions. He's won gold medals. He's got every accolade in the world, but that's tough. Sometimes you just never get there. And he's played on damn good teams. So the curse of Thornton continues, and what are you going to do? It is what it is. But the takeaway here for Florida fan is don't panic. I said we would come back to this point, and the point is don't panic. You have every piece you need for a Stanley Cup. It's all there. Every piece is there. You just ran into the Lightning. Go get a coach in the offseason. I think you're going to. You went through some coaching turmoil this year. That's tough. You have every piece required. You just got to either be patient, stick to the plan, add a couple pieces. You're going to add a coach. We know that. And you come back next year to see if you can do it. People are going to start talking about things. Size, grit, blah, blah, blah. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just copying what's happened in the last 3 years. The Pittsburgh Penguins won 2 Stanley Cups being the smallest team in the playoffs. It is possible. The Chicago Blackhawks won 2 being the smallest team in the playoffs. You can be big, you can be small. There's a lot of ways to win a Stanley Cup. The trouble is you're sitting in a division with not only the Tampa Bay Lightning, but the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's another team that is primed and ready to do the same thing as Florida. No major changes. Don't panic. Go forward. It could be your time. And remember, there's a million teams out there that were excellent that didn't win Stanley Cups in the last 10 years. Nashville didn't win a cup in the last while. Dallas had an excellent team that didn't win a cup. The San Jose Sharks had at least 10 excellent teams that didn't win a cup. The New York Rangers under Henrik Lundqvist couldn't get it done. They couldn't win a cup. The list goes on and on and on. There's like 15 teams you can name that it was their time and their time never came. That may happen to you, Florida. It may happen to Toronto. It may happen to a lot of people. But the only thing you need to do is put together the best team you can and show up year in and year out and try to win. And I think that's what Florida needs to do. Don't blow it up. Don't panic. You're this close. Sometimes waiting is the best play. I hope Florida does that. Quick little coaching change. That's my take on Florida and my gift to you. Speaking of gifts, can you go ahead and do a gift for me? Florida fan, Bolts fans, you guys have been awesome. Give me a big thumbs up for this channel. You've been so supportive. We found a ton of hockey fans down there in Florida. We love all of you. Go ahead, subscribe if you haven't yet. Join our Discord, chat with us, watch the rest of the playoffs with us. It is fun stuff. If you need the break though, Florida, I get it. Summer's going to be there, but it's like 1 billion degrees down there. What are you going to do? Go outside and plus 100? Hang out, watch hockey with us. Also, think of joining our membership page down below, just like these beauties here. Big shout out to all of them, our executive suites, our lower bowl, and our upper bowl members. It has been awesome having you here on this channel. This is the way you get priority access to Coach Ryan D and show your support, or you can go ahead and give a super thanks with the heart and the dollar sign. But just being here watching, content will always be free, and a big thumbs up goes a long way. Now back to the Bolts and to this game. This will be a bit of a longer one. There's a lot to talk about after you season recap something for a team. Unbelievable 2 goals called back. Crazy stuff. Huberdeau called it. I think that was absolutely the right call. The second puck that ends up getting called away because of a hand pass, there's nothing you can do about that. And then finally, Pat Maroon ends up scoring. And of course, it's Pat Maroon, shot from the point. Tampa Bay scored most of their goals in this playoffs, going either across the road on the power play or making it happen from the point and getting deflections. That's the way they ended up beating Bobrovsky. Palat goes into the box at the end of the game after putting the puck over the glass. You think this is Florida's time. They end up icing it before the power play is over, so there is no icing called, and Palat is able to easily put it in the empty net to make this 2-0. Tampa Bay had no panic at any point in time in this game. I want to show some of the amazingness that was Vasilevskiy and how calm and easy he seems. So you end up winning the puck back here to Uyghur. And I mean, what an interesting haircut, eh? I don't blame him. Go ahead, change it up. Why not? You're down 3-0. Uyghur ends up putting one here that ends up getting blocked. So right away, what you see is Vasilevskiy's head. It's up and he's trying to find the puck. You can see that there. He's trying to look over the scrum. He goes, where is the puck? But he doesn't have to see it because he's going to hold his proper angle. And because he's holding his proper angle, I don't know if you saw that, but he was surprised that it ended up hitting him here. It's not that he didn't know the puck was coming, is that he couldn't see it. But when you are this good and in position and hold your angles this well, you make saves that you shouldn't make. And this is what I was talking about in the beginning, where I said there are some fan base, some goalies out there saying it's not his fault. It's not, but this is what you're paying for. This is premium payment. This is what the good stuff is. Goalies that steal saves and games that they shouldn't be able to steal for all that money. So Vasilevskiy makes the first save. It ends up bouncing out in a rebound, and it's a rebound because he didn't know it was coming. Then what happens? A second save. The big man's able to do the splits, cut over, hold his angle. No big deal. The puck goes to the corner. That's the brilliance that is Ondrej Vasilevskiy. Even when he can't see the puck, even when he shouldn't make the save, his angles, his position, and his skill allow him to do that. He is unbelievable. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Vasilevskiy here again. Look, take a look at the screen that's in front of him. What's Vasilevskiy doing? Because he's 6'3". Again, let's get high. Let's find the puck. Goalies need their eyes. They need to track the puck. Then what ends up happening is you've got a south to north play. So you end up taking that puck all the way up vertically, lengthening the ice. Take a look at what Vasilevskiy does again. Look at his eyes. Look at his helmet again. He goes up. He gets big again. He goes to track that puck. You can see it there frame by frame. Now his head is standing up just below the power play sign. He's looking to track it. He's not going down too early. He's trusting his angles. And then what he sees is the puck moves over. Because he's able to see over the screen, because he reads the body language, even though that puck is going across our Royal Road, which is that line we draw down the middle, this is the most difficult save for a goalie to make. He's on a power play. This is very hard. What does he do? He ends up with very slight movements. You could see it. He moves 180 degrees. So we've had two angle changes. We have gone ahead and we've lengthened the ice and we've widened the ice. Both are brutal for goaltenders. We're on a power play here for Florida. Penalty kill if you're Tampa Bay. Vasilevskiy's made a 180-degree movement. He's got a screen in front of him again. What's he do? Peeks behind the screen. He's looking for that puck, tracking, peeks back, allows his angles to reset. Puck hits off of him once. Doesn't panic. What did you see here? Did you see him get out of shape? Did you see a giant athletic save? Did you see the splits? No, you just see him holding his angle. Big man holds his angle, tracks the puck, directs it to the corner. Any other goalie or mortal man wouldn't have made one of those saves. One of those would have gone in and no one would have blamed him for it. But this is what you're paying the big bucks for. This is what it means to be truly elite. And this is how you enter top 5 territory. This is how you win 3 back-to-back Stanley Cups. This is Andre Vasilevskiy. And if you want to know how to beat him, you've just got to keep putting shots like that on him. There's nothing else you can do. You got to get a few through. You got to shake his confidence. You got to get the big man moving. You got to get rebounds on net. Florida did everything you needed to do against Vasilevskiy in the last 2 games. Vasilevskiy just won. It's the way it goes. It's the way humans play. It's the way the series plays. So, excellent job by both teams. Florida fan, I hope you stick around. Don't make too many rash decisions or changes. Love your team. I know you do. Tampa Bay, we'll catch you in the 3rd round. Let me know if you want the Canes or if you want the Rangers. I'm suspecting a few comments like, we don't care. We'll beat them all. We're the Bolts. This has been a lot of fun. Enjoy the 4 days rest down there in Florida in the sunshine. We'll catch you in the next one.